Okay, so
Perfect.
welcome everyone to the MJSA webinar. Today is our pitch tank, and we have 6 pitchers here to explain to you why you should include their product or service in your 2024 budget. Investing in our businesses is one of the most important things we can do. Thinking through how investing in your business is going to make your business better is the primary job of a business owner and business executive. And so the fact that these 6 folks, well, there's more than 6 on your screen, but you kind of get my point, have taken precious time out of running their own businesses to prepare a 7-minute pitch for you so you can do a better job of running your business is really a gift. And I'm just so appreciative that they've all come together to do this. This could be a zany session. We're all going to be sharing screens. There could be drop-offs. There could be screen sharing challenges. We're just going to roll with whatever happens. And I'd really love for all of you to put your questions in the chat box as you have them. We're going to save the questions to the end because we're going to do a lot of content in a short period of time today. And we'll get to the questions at the end of this, though. If the presenters have answers for you, they may also type them into the chat as we go. Oh, hi, I'm Andrea Hill. I'm your host for the MJSA webinar series. I forgot that part. So I'm assuming everybody can see us and hear us because there's chat happening in the chat. And I'm just going to introduce our first presenter and let him share his screen and take it away. So Roger took one for the team and volunteered to go first. So our first presenter is Roger Guesswine. He is the vice president of Guesswine, and it's all yours, Roger. Hit the plus button.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll do the plus button, but let me brief what I'm going to talk about. And my topic is electro polishing. And maybe some of you have heard of that technology, maybe not, but I came across it in a trip to Vicenza, Italy. And there's a big trade show for machinery and other finished jewelry too, called T-Gold. And I was introduced to a company called Hispana, and they manufacture this technology in Barcelona, Spain, out of all places. So that's an excuse to go there. And as I traveled around Asia that year, I saw in India, in Thailand, that this technology was prevalent. And I always wondered how you could finish intricate jewelry with interesting geometries in a very uniform way. And I found out that electropolishing was the culprit. So I had to dive deep. I had to bring it back to the USA and see what the market, if the market would accept it. So electropolishing is an electrochemical process that removes material from metal pieces. So think electroplating in reverse. So you have your pieces on a jig and they're hanging in solution, and there's a cathode, the pieces are the anodes, and you're removing material. Some of you may be familiar with bombing with acid. And so this is not that, it's the same idea, but it's a non-chemical process. So you don't have to worry about hazardous things for your health. So what metals can you process currently with electropolishing? Well, you can do gold, yellow gold, white gold, red gold, 8 to 22 karat, and also palladium alloys in our machines, as well as silver and brass. And I wish I could tell you that platinum was possible, but not yet. And that's a finicky metal to polish with. So we're working on that. And to understand the need, right? What's the need for electropolishing? Why invest in the equipment? Why learn about a new technology? Well, let's look at what the current methods of polishing are today, and then we can see if it makes sense. So the ones that come to my mind are hand polishing and mechanical tumbling, okay? And what are the downsides of these? Well, hand polishing, you need skilled labor, and we all know that's really hard to find. And it can be inconsistent. You have one polisher to the next, they want different buffs, maybe different compounds, they have slightly different techniques, so you have an inconsistent finish potentially throughout different polishers. And over polishing is something that is a problem. That has to go back to the beginning of the process. And mechanical tumbling, the big downsides I see, the first one is duration. You're going from multiple steps, ceramic media, maybe a higher grit, a lower grit to a higher grit, and then a cob for a finish. That can take up to 8 hours. And that's precious time wasted potentially. And also the type of pieces you can tumble are, let's say, not as various. So if you have a very complicated charm with a lot of detail, you can't put it in the tumbler because you'll lose that detail. Any kind of sharp edges or fine filigree, you're going to lose that. And to have someone polish it, they have to be quite skilled. So electro polishing really fills in the gaps of all of these different issues with the current polishing methods. You don't need skilled labor. Definitely not. It doesn't take that long. On average, we're looking at between an hour and an hour and a half. Even small, intricate charms you can polish in 45 minutes. The cost per piece is inexpensive, 5 to 10 cents or so per piece. A lot less than, let's say, hand polishing, unless you're overseas. And it, just like plating, you're dipping into the bath, it follows the geometries very, very well. So it can be the most intricate piece that's 3D printed, and you can still polish it evenly. And you can polish stones already set into the jewelry. So it's going to get behind that area. So these are all really interesting things that electropolishing can do. And I could talk about it more, but let me show you a quick video that we put together with Hispana, our partner. And now the technology should work. All right. So I'll walk you through this right now. Is this good?
Yep.
Andrea?
It's starting to load up. Is there sound on the video?
Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit. You don't need too much. Can you still hear me okay or no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Great. So this is the EN44, and it's a second step. So this is what I'm going to go over.
You're actually fading out voice-wise, Roger.
I think your audio is competing with the audio of the video.
Yeah,
all right.
if you mute the audio video or the video audio, it'll probably fix it.
Yep.
Got it. All right, let me try that. Thank you. All righty, so this is our second step gold machine, and it just shows you the process. So you have your piece in the tank, you put in your compound, your different media, and you hang your piece on the hooks. You have your cathodes on the side, the piece is the anode, and the rack moves around as well, so you can get into all the hard to reach areas.
That's really cool.
Very cool. Here's the machine right now. So this is the gold machine. You can see it in front right here. It's pretty simple. You turn it on, you load the screen, and you can choose between different parameters, and we'll get to that. So just like in plating, you see the hooks, right? This is the rack. These are the hooks. They're made of titanium. And imagine you have very small pieces. You say, oh, I can't get this bale into here. Well, you can string it with a copper wire, just like you do plating. So it's the same process, voltage going through the solution, and you're removing metal. So all you do is jig up the pieces. You can hang chains. We have different racks for different types of pieces as well. And this bath is 33 pieces at a time, but we also have one with 2 baths. So you can do 66 pieces, let's say within an hour.
Oh, that's decent.
The kind of production that you can see with electropolishing. You put in the rack, you lock it, and then you choose the different parameters. It's quite simple. You choose power with it, which is voltage, as well as the duration, and then pulses depending on the alloy. We have a different parameters based on what we found makes sense. And then you press start, and it does the movement itself. It's mixing the compound that's in there already. And one thing to note, so you see on the screen, they're really small particles. So that's media, okay? You have the solution, the proprietary solution for polishing, and it comes with media, little resin particles. And there's also brushes in there. And Hispana is unique in the market to have the brush technology. So imagine the rack's moving, and the brushes are going around the pieces, the media is being pushed with the solution, and it's polishing the whole surface area of the piece. And all of those together is the key to the process. And so you leave. It mixes everything. It moves around your pieces and it automatically polishes. And you can stop it midway. So after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're not sure what the results are. You take it out, you inspect them, and you put it right back in. After the cycle is complete, there are small tanks in front of the machine with distilled water, always distilled water. You rinse it a couple times, you inspect your pieces. If you're happy with the results, then you take them out and you put them into an ultrasonic cleaner. Pretty simple.
It doesn't look like it would be hard to train either.
No, and that's the point. We're talking skilled labor is harder to find. And this type of technology, it's not necessarily replacing individuals. Maybe you can take them and put them into a different part of the process. You still need, and you'll see some results right now. This is the direct casting before. And you'll see that even at the end, depending on the finish you need, you still want to do some hand buffing. So I think having polishers, that skill set is very important and you still need it. But all the pre-polishing, after casting, skin removal, and then all that pre-polishing work that multiple tumblers would do or skilled hand polishers would do can be substituted with electropolishing.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet because you
Just
could
an
get
example
media
of
into
after
those
the
products.
first machine. So we have multiple machines. We call them first step and second step, and then for every single, for gold, palladium, white gold, silver, brass. And we categorize in first and second step. Now, I hope I'm going over, but I think first step is selective grinding, right? That's removing the casting skin. And then the second step, what you saw with the brushes, the media, getting all the insides. And then you have a beautiful finished piece. And that's it.
That's pretty cool. And that does solve a big problem.
Yes.
And
Yeah, so it's being adopted. Yeah, it's being adopted in the USA right now. A lot of the big manufacturers are using it, but they don't tell anybody that they're using it. So we're trying to democratize it, and we'll have these machines at upcoming trade shows, MJSA, JCK, and smaller regional shows. So if anyone's interested, please call me, and we can even process samples.
Very cool. Plus, if you ask any bench jeweler, what's the thing they hate doing most, except Whitney Boyne, who likes it. I don't understand this. They'll say polishing. So it's like nice to get a lot of that out of the way. All right. Thank you, Roger. That was fantastic. And you were really close to 7 minutes. So you set a high bar, guys. Okay. So our next presenter is James Gervais, President and COO of Laser Star Technologies. So we're going to hand it over to you.
Okay. Excellent. Well, great job, Roger.
Thank you
very much for going first. And I want to thank MJSA and Andrea for hosting this event. And, many people in the industry probably know Laser Star today from either being the Crawford Tool and Die Company or Crawford Precision Products and the popularity of the Lincoln-Matic machines for many, many, many years, and then the evolution into Laser Star and laser welding. And, here's a little fun fact. Laser Star was the first company 22 years ago to introduce laser welding at the MJSA Providence Expo at the Providence Civic Center. I was born not too far from there, Rhode Island Hospital. And but the company has continued to move and change, and we're actually now based all our operations in Orlando, Florida. And I wanted to take a couple minutes just to talk about the affordability of laser welding today, which many people are very familiar with it, and also the benefits and affordability of laser engraving. So I have a short presentation that I'd like to load. If you can just give me a moment. And share my screen.
So to our audience, this is where your presenters always start sweating, like, will the plus button work?
Okay, I think I can see it. Can everybody else see it?
We can see it.
Excellent, great. So once again, Laser Star design, engineers, and builds all of their products here right in Orlando, Florida. And we're very proud of that. And we wanted to take, oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, moves quicker on my other window. I want to take a couple of minutes because I know that we have a variety of manufacturing jewelers, studio jewelers, as well as retail jewelers. This presentation is kind of broad brush, but it leans a little bit more to the retail side. But a lot of the skill sets and capabilities of laser welding are applicable across all facets of from start to finish, from manufacturing to the repair process. And jewelry repair centers are something that are a very popular trend that's been going on for many, many years in the United States. There's thousands of machines that have been sold by LaserStar and a number of our high quality competitors for doing a wide range of applications, as well as in the manufacturing space. We have hundreds of machines just in New York City. I remember the old days with Roy Gessman and I rolling them up and down the sidewalks on 45th, 48th Street and going up and down buildings, doing demonstrations, etc. And the laser really is an excellent tool as an alternative metal bonding process from traditional soldering or brazing or furnace type techniques, from sizing to applying ear posts, to do assembly of tennis bracelets, to do a wide range of repairs, many of which are listed here down the left side. And it's become a very dominant tool today for all aspects of the precious metal markets and jewelry markets. And people say, well, why is it so popular? And the key is really a couple of critical items. Number one, you're creating a non-contact weld or bonding method with the surface, as opposed to old ways with a torch or using some sort of electrode resistance welding, etc., where the laser beam fires a beam which you cannot see with your naked eye. You're looking at it through a microscope and you're targeting it with a crosshair, and it fires bursts of metal, which you trigger with your foot pedal to melt metal together, melt dissimilar metals together, or actually add metal to a particular piece. So the lasers are very simple to operate. Not to be long-winded on this, but basically operators sit at the machine. They look through a microscope, which can range anywhere from 15x to 40x magnification. An internal crosshair allows them to target, like you would with a rifle, where you want to fire the beam. You hold the parts in your hand, or you may have some complex or simplified fixtures, something as easy as a clothespin, a wooden clothespin if the part's too hot. We do a lot of work outside of the jewelry industry and many of the other industries that we're servicing with 2, 3, 4 axis motion systems, where we're doing large volume of parts or complex assemblies, say in medical device. But in jewelry, a lot of the work is the craft markets is done with your hands. Your hands are really, the human hands are the best jig possible. Position and allow things as easy as you want. And a very common question is, what's it going to do to my hands? Well, this is non-ionizing radiation, so you're not going to get an injury like you would if it was radiation from a nuclear source. The biggest hazard is basically reflected laser beams or holding on to a part that gets too hot. So there's many different ways to work around that. But they're a very common tool. And as you can see in the photo of the operator, you're basically sitting in an ergonomic position. The machines are available with a pedestal or a benchtop machine, which we're showing here. The benefits of laser welding, which we've touched on earlier, but again, it's eliminating the dangerous torch work and fire scale that traditionally would happen with a torch. You're benefiting from pinpoint accuracy. Laser welds are 95% as strong as the original alloy. When we do X-ray cross-sectioning of metals that are welded together, you can see it's a homogeneous weld. There's certain techniques to make sure that you don't get any cold joints or cold pockets. So those are all techniques that we cover with our training. You're minimizing the potential hazards of heat damage. I remember back in the day when I was a salesman traveling the country, I was one of the customers where I really realized we've got something here is when I was visiting Cabana, who was a strong client of ours, and we sat there and we were laser welding against opal inlay. We did no damage to the stone. And that was revolutionary in really understanding how powerful these lasers can be with very, very small beam sizes. There's very little post-process cleanup after laser welding from traditional old world methods. You reduce the cost of the solder, and most importantly, it's fast, it's quick, it's efficient, and it's profitable. So I got a little slide, and this is a little more biased to the retail side, but this is some data that is out of David Geller's Blue Book, and this was 2021 Rev, and it talks about the cost that people should be charging for repairs. We've got tipping, pronging, downsizing a ring, upsizing a ring, and if you just look quickly, you know, these are prices that are acceptable in the marketplace. When you're using a laser welder, you can sell and talk about the advantages and the safety of the laser for your piece versus a traditional method. And there's an upwards of a 30 to 35% revenue gain as a result for that. So it's a very powerful profit center that can be used not only in retail manufacturing, but in studios as well as the repair section of the marketplace. Now we really get down to the details. Most importantly, these machines are more affordable than ever. You know, this is a very powerful, we're featuring here a benchtop machine. We sell hundreds and hundreds of these every year. Worldwide, between these and our pedestal units, we have over 9,000 machines installed worldwide. You can buy these machines now for $15,000. A very popular way is to finance the purchase. And a lot of our clients like to break it down by the day. It works out to $10 a day. And fundamentally, you can't purchase another tool this affordably. That costs only $10 a day. So we strongly encourage people to look at all the different venues of financing. But in laser welding is here to stay. We've got clients we sold machines to 20 years ago who come back and say, I'm ready to buy another. My other one is well served. I'm going to retire it, or I want to add more capacity. And then in closing, I just want to take a couple of quick minutes and touch on a little bit of laser engraving, which is a trend that has really started to gain popularity in the last 5 to 7 years. When we say laser engraving, it's a different laser type source than what we're using for the welding. Welding is a lot of power at bursts of energy, you know, 10, 20 hertz, where laser marking and engraving is optimizing the machine where we can run in upwards of 200,000 hertz, 500,000 hertz. So it's lower energy, but running very fast. And as you can see in this quick sample of different applications, these are all real world applications that are going on, from wedding band engraving, customization of rings. We can optimize the machines with power so you can actually cut, a very popular trend in manufacturing and in the retail side is one-of-a-kind, one-off custom pieces, custom shop work, name necklaces, interlocking monograms, custom earrings, doing brooch pins, etc. It's really, the limitations are only in the eyes of the beholder or the designer. So custom engraving services are another very affordable process that's available today. We're proud about the fact that about 7 years ago, we went on a journey where we wanted to manufacture all our own software ourselves. We introduced all of our laser engraving software in 2020, and we're here today utilizing LaserStar's Software Labs products, which also allows our users, if they want something a little special, we have the capability of doing as opposed to using a third-party software, either made domestically or offshore. These machines are also very affordable. And again, a good entry-level laser engraver can be purchased for $10 a day. They're about $15,000. Just want to touch on a couple of quick things. We're very well known for our education, our academy. We were very good at one-on-one trainings. COVID was a curse and a blessing. The blessing side of it is it forced us to build out our online capabilities with self-guided videos, online interactive courses. We're education experts. We've got hours and hours of video content that's up there now. We have a 4-person team in our Orlando offices. All they do is produce videos for education and for marketing purposes. And again, being made in the USA is another advantage. We're the only company manufacturing these types of machines in North America. There's a lot of other good product that comes from other parts, but there are advantages, in dealing with the source. And lastly, would like to say, whether it's JCK, MJSA, or a customer on the phone, you should really think about purchasing the bundle. Your custom shop capabilities or enhancing your manufacturing capabilities will grow if you add laser welding and laser engraving. And you can do a bundle for basically $20 a day. So I just want to thank everybody for listening. And again, LaserStar, here's our contact details, and you can find us on the internet, on LaserStar TV, at YouTube, etc. And that's all I have to share.
Thank you. I have to say that you guys definitely didn't do planned obsolescence in your product design, because I can't tell you how many shops I walk into and they're like, this is the first one we ever bought 18 years ago. So they last.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for that. We're going to go straight to Andreas Argentinis at Metal Pressions and see what you want us to include in our budgets for next year.
All right. Well, thank you for the intro. My name's Andreas. We're from Metal Pressions. We're based in Georgia, and we make classified fine personalized jewelry. So what makes personalized jewelry fine? We work in sterling silver, solid 14K gold, and we deeply engrave it. But what makes it fine is that we embellish it with other accents from finer formal jewelry. So we have burnished set stones, pave stones, channel set. We're layering things and giving things depth. So you can take a silver charm, put a gold rim on it. You can add a gold heart, put a diamond on top of that. And we're bringing that to retail stores. But to help them, we've developed a platform that you can design your own jewelry in real time with your customers. Super simple, works a lot like Photoshop or Illustrator. Let me bring it up. We'll run through a quick design. Just give me 1 second here. Let me know if you all can see that.
Yep, it's up.
Okay. So again, it's a flat 2D illustration. It's super easy. I can teach your grandmother to do it. We're going to start off, make a real quick piece. I'm going to add a chain. We're going to go gold. So let's go big to start, right? We want the high price points. And we'll select some charms. This is a rim charm. It's got a raised bezel on the edge. So this is all handmade. I'll add that to the canvas. Now this is 3/4 of an inch. You're like, how big is it? Everything's scaled to the quarter. So we can size this down. Now this is put into a device, a kiosk that goes into a retail store that they use this side by side with their customers. So their customer can get the approximate life size. I'm going to type a name in here. I'm going to go with Andrea because I'm partial, I guess. Block would be good for me, but I think for Andrea, maybe we'll put something a little bit nicer. Let's go with a script. We'll bold it, and then I'll kind of resize this and put this in place. Now we're going to embellish it. We do these raised accents, these soldered accents that we cut into shapes. We'll mix the metals. I'm going to put a rose gold on there. I hope somebody's timing me, by the way. Actually, I don't want to do a heart. I want to do a star and a moon. These elements are resizable, so I can resize these guys down, make them into a much cuter size, resize this guy here, and then let's do something cool. That's a star. We'll add a couple of these guys. And then over here, I'll add some stones. We're using real and color enhanced diamonds. And I'll add a couple of those guys. And for example, I could just drag this into here, and then we'll set that inside that little engraving. Our engraving, we engrave pretty deep too. I can also customize the back. All right, Andrea, I'm going to take a guess here. I'm going to guess you were born in 1995. Did I get it right? No, close. I'm close. I'm hoping close.
I have children older than that.
Okay, so we get this charm. The price tolls up on the screen, and it's about $1,500 retail. That's the retail cost of the item. So then mom says, you know something, I love Andrea, but I don't love Andrea $1,500. She was a little bit of a demanding child, and I need to save some money for the therapy that she costs. So let's dial it back a little bit. So I'll change the charm. If you see, I'm quickly swapping it out to a silver charm with a raised gold bezel. And I'll switch the chain out too, and we should be able to get to a much more manageable price point. Again, I'm moving quick. I've been doing this for a while, but everybody can do this. It's super simple. And so now we went from something that's like $1,500 to $400. Our price points can range from anywhere around, I'd say under $100 to several thousand. You kind of get to choose your own adventure. Now, here's the really interesting that we did. So not only do we have the platform, we have the device in the store, but we can do a live interactive session. So a salesperson calls up with a customer, they need some help. We remotely log into that machine and we're doing what I'm calling live collaborative interactive design. So we do the heavy lifting, and in just a couple of minutes, we create a design, with the customer. So when you think about experiences in retail stores, the biggie right now is the permanent jewelry. So this is kind of an extension of an experience that you need in your store. We've been around for like 15 years. We started off, we were the first real true online design tool for personalized jewelry. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, we went into to retail stores. And you say, well, why haven't I heard you so far? Well, over that time period, we had what I call early adopters. So we've been refining, because we know that we need to make sure that this is a smooth experience for your sales staff. So we've done a few things. Our machine is auto on off. There's things that we learned that you need to auto save things. So we take away any friction that a salesperson will have when they step up to this machine. Interactive. But wait, there's more. I sound like a late night knife commercial. You get your 2 knives and an extra paring knife, maybe a ShamWow, and some Flex Seal along with this deal. But what we did is we created a training program. And what we do is we have a cashback part of our retail partnership that sales staff earn by doing small bite-sized tasks. So what I mean by small bite-sized tasks, we would load a sample design. It gives you some instruction and says, I'll delete this here. Find a stone to add to this. In this case, we need to find a June stone. So I'll add the stone, add it to the canvas, and drag it over to the place. And that salesperson would have learned one small skill set. They earn a little bit of cash. We Venmo it monthly, and I'm the favorite guy, in the store. So everybody loves to earn money, and they do it in a way that teaches them all these skill sets so they get comfortable. In the meantime, they kind of lean on us. I think that's the complete, package. We also have the ability to book a session with us. There's the book tab on the kiosk. You can click and schedule an appointment for us to log in with you and do that design together. Our retail, partnership starts at $10,000. The way we do it is the kiosk costs $2,500, and then your staff earn $1,500 back in training incentive. The remaining $7,500, you don't spend that on stock. I think a lot of stores are trepidatious to bring in things that they may or may not sell. So they just need to apply that credit as a small portion of samples. The rest they hold on credit for future custom orders. And, some people might say, hey, Andreas, I really don't sell personalized jewelry in my store. I'm doing bridal, I'm doing Pandora, I'm doing whatever. Well, I can guarantee you your customers are buying this type of jewelry. They're just not buying it from you. They're going online, they're going to the Etsy's, they're going to the personalization name something whatever.com, but they're not buying it from your store. So it's a supplemental part to the bigger picture that makes you successful, and it's an experience that I think keeps people coming back and back again. Our early adoption period, we had about 12 stores. Those are who we cut our teeth with. We were with some really notable stores. We have Tappers in Detroit. What a great family. I owe them a debt of gratitude. They let us cut our teeth there. And then we just started, once we ramped up the training program, we just started doing our trade shows. We've doubled the number of our stores, and I think we're going to double again next year. So we're over 20 stores, and I expect to be hopefully 40 to 50 plus stores next year. So it's now's the time to get on board if you're interested.
Very cool. Everybody's talking about what the future of retail is, and what does it mean to have an experience in a retail store. And that's a great way to deliver experiences at retail.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's nothing like it. When I walk into stores and I see tech, a lot of the tech is off, or it's not used, or it's kludgy, or it's just a configurator, right? Mm-hmm. It's just modifying one little thing. And then people are getting frustrated because they can't move the stone, they can't move this piece, they can't customize the other side of it. So we've created a custom custom created solution. Custom modified is very different than custom jewelry. You could take Campbell's soup, splash some hot sauce, and they call it homemade, but it ain't homemade soup. It's home modified soup. This is custom jewelry. All right, try to keep it entertaining.
Full of sound bites, Andreas. I can't wait to go back into this video and grab them all. That was great. Okay, you guys. Now Andreas is he ended at 7 minutes and 1 second. I'm just saying. I don't believe you didn't really have a timer there, or Alicia's somewhere in the background telling you what time it is.
I gave her an air horn. She's ready. She's looking at it, ready to hit it.
When we do our like 50 minutes and 50 ideas in 50 minutes type sessions at MJSA, then Rich Humans brings a bike horn.
Oh yeah.
You just have to be ready. Okay, we are going to keep moving on. I'm having a blast. Like I think every webinar should be this because it's so fun to learn what you guys are sharing. So we are going to move on to Aaron and Brian. They are the co-founders of Brooklyn Metalworks. And what should we put in our budget for next year that you are going to share with us?
Hi, welcome. We're going to talk about education. So Brooklyn Metalworks.
So we founded Brooklyn Metalworks in 2011, and we've been teaching classes, workshops, and a variety of other things ever since. We have various components to the studio. We rent studio space to other makers. We also have an exhibition space where we have an incredible show up right now by Funlola Coker, who's a Nigerian artist. So that's up until November 4th. And right now we have the Ethical Gem Fair that's going on, which if you're in New York, you should definitely stop by and meet these incredible gem dealers. But so we have studio space, we have exhibition space, we have a tool shop. We've started selling tools. So we have probably the only place that's open on the weekends in New York City and the only place in Brooklyn in general. And
To buy tools
and materials.
specifically for jewelry and metals.
Yep. And should I say more stuff?
No, I think that's good. I think what we're trying to talk about today is the value of education just in general, but also very specifically targeted to increase the knowledge of potentially your employees or the people who you work with that could benefit from a deeper understanding of jewelry and metalsmithing processes. Do you want to share a screen?
Oh yeah, we should share a screen.
So Brooklyn Metalworks opened to the public in 2012, and since that time we've been teaching coursework to all levels of, oh, that's not us.
That's not us.
To all levels. We have typically throughout the year, we're actively in the studio right now. So that is an ultrasonic in the background, possibly that you're hearing. So sorry.
It's not coming through.
Okay, good. You can't hear it. I'm very glad to hear that. There's always something active going on here. So our classes, teaching courses since 2012, we have a variety of coursework from novice to professional. And we're going to talk you through a couple of these options. The classes that for the 8-week sessions are typically open to the public. For adults, we do occasionally have teen classes. They meet once a week for 3 hours, and it's a group of about 4 to 12 students. But beyond that, we also offer private lessons, and this is where the customization comes in. We've been hosting this type of coursework over the years, either in our studio or sometimes we take our show on the road. Very rarely, we prefer to teach in the house, and we can develop whatever you may be interested in. This is something that we've done for, let's say you're a jewelry shop and you have a new hire and you want somebody to just get some bench basics. We've done that kind of coursework. We've also worked with larger groups larger manufacturers who maybe want to put together special coursework for their employees because maybe they need training on a special piece of equipment. You can keep going. Oh. We also have gift cards. If you don't know exactly what you might like somebody to engage in, it could just be a nice option for them to take their own perusal of our schedule and see where it fits in their life and take a class at their leisure. Private tasting courses. This is something that I actually offer to my own employees. We also run a shop called Specific Gravity that is a jewelry store that offers the work of people who are associated with Brooklyn Metalworks, and our wonderful staff there are taking private tasting, or not the private tasting courses, but our regular tasting courses, which we offer to the general public for people to walk in and sort of sit down for 2.5 hours and learn how to make stacking rings or bangles or other such things. And those are open to the public and they're a lot of fun, but we also offer them specifically for different groups of people. So for instance, we have these private group workshops. This is the group from Balvenie Scotch. And instead of taking their bartenders who are purveyors of their fine scotch, they instead of taking them to another tasting in another restaurant, they decided to have us develop this workshop for them to learn how to make bar spoons. So we are a jewelry and small metals workshop. You can see the workshop here. And we like to make objects as much as jewelry. And this is a group of bartenders who made their own bar spoons out of sterling silver. And this was a longer form workshop where people were spending more time than the 2.5 hours. And then the Scotch tasting came at the end. So,
very important.
We're very adamant about that not happening while we were working together.
But we also work with other organizations, like we work with the Brooklyn Museum, the Bard Graduate Center.
Well, you can, I think. Yeah,
here we go. Here's
so,
one with Preston Jones, who's a silversmith at Tiffany's, who's demonstrating chasing and repoussé to, I think, mostly just curious people. I don't remember why we did this, but we do work with different organizations so that they can either have, like with Bard, their decorative arts graduate program, so they can better understand how objects are made, so that when they're handling them in the museum, they're more educated.
Yeah, so it's not always a matter of teaching people hands-on skills. Sometimes it's just a deeper look into art processes and craft processes. So that can be quite enjoyable to get to sit down and just see how somebody makes a thing. And this was with the jewelry library is how we had this. And then I think there's that's us. So we are open to this conversation. We develop a lot of this type of coursework independently with people or organizations or businesses, and we like to provide education resources.
We work with like other companies like Etsy to do workshops that allow their employees to kind of get better with each other. All right.
I think we're at time.
You actually ended early, so
all right. Okay.
The presentations are getting shorter as we go. I've never experienced this. Just to reinforce, when you're planning your budget for next year, always business owners, please put education in your budget. Please get your employees out there learning things that they can't necessarily learn internally from you, because it brings so much energy into the organization and they share that energy with everyone else. So education should always be part of your annual budget. So thanks for sharing that. You guys are doing some really cool stuff. Now I'm wishing I were in Brooklyn more often. Okay, so we're going to move right on to McKay Crowley, who is the Chief Business Strategist for Master Casting and CAD, and see what McKay has to say.
Great. Okay, good. Audio is working now. Thank you very much, Andrea. I am excited to be here. I've wanted to rave about Oscar and what he is doing for a long time. And so let me actually pull this up here real quick for you to see. Okay, maybe it'll work. There we go. Present. Okay, there we go. That's the one. Okay. Let me make sure it presents. Why do I always, oh, this little window that shows up here, it's always the worst. Okay. I want to, what, can someone remind me where they update this thing so often? I just want the present button.
If you click slideshow,
Oh, is that where
and
it'll
then
go?
Start
There it is.
presentation, I think.
That's what it is. Okay. It's funny. It makes it, when I learned PowerPoint, it was always up in the top left corner, like static. It's like, oh, present. Now you have to go to the right tab. So, presenting what Mastercasting can do to transform your business in 7 minutes has been frightening me for a month and a half. As as Oscar asked me to come and do this, but I can at least whet your appetites. What Mastercasting is doing will revolutionize your business. You do custom. If you don't do custom, you're missing out on so much business that I weep for you. The way you're doing custom, in the vast majority of cases, is not the best way to do it. And I can say this with confidence because I tried a lot of different ways to do it, following the course of many others before me, and nothing quite fit until I got the tools and capabilities and I call them power-ups, but maybe that's wrong terminology, that Mastercasting provides. And let me give you a bit of color on this, bit of detail. So your time as a owner, as an administrator, should be focused on selling, developing products, and developing your brand, right? Period. That is your focus, right? There are little things. I mean, there are important things too, but they're in between as it relates to building a good company culture, doing those types of things. As it relates to moving your company forward at the product offering and experience level for your customers, those are the three big things that you need to be focused on. And a lot of jewelers quickly, especially when it comes to custom, they quickly lose sight of that. They begin to cut corners by saying things like, oh, well, I don't want to pay someone to do my CAD work. I'll just do it myself. Automatically capping the amount of CAD work they can do. Oh, I can do casting and stuff. I can do this in here, right? Automatically cutting 4 hours out of their week or whatever it is. I can do, I can go through and design my own jewelry line with my CAD skills and implement the correct process to manufacture all of them. And then you are spending a whole month and a half doing that. Mastercasting provides the tools, which provides you the time that you need to excel at all of these. And let me be a little bit more clear. Mastercasting's approach, we call it Masterflex, influences everything we do within the company. So we approach every relationship, every client as a partner and as a business project that we are now a part of. And we want to apply everything that is beneficial and makes life easier, and to specifically not do the things that are going to be problematic, to specifically not sell the client, sell whoever the piece, the component that they want, that would be better for them to go and purchase elsewhere, right? We are a partner, an advocate, and Masterflex is a good reminder of that as we tell people, hey, do you just want the casting work? You just want us to do casting work? That's fine. We send you raw castings, no problem. You just need design work. Awesome. We do fantastic designs fast, and you will be blown away. Do you just need stuff 3D printed to be prepared for casting? No problem. It is something that, as a former retail store owner, and now the manager and executive with other retail affiliates, this is a big deal, because people do not, many times, casting house type partners do not like this. They like to kind of fit people into a box and say, this is our offering, take it or leave it, and begrudgingly, if you're a big client, okay, we'll do something special for you. That's completely foreign to what Master Casting does. And to be clear, Master Casting is not a casting house. They are a business strategy and development company. It's hard to think about that, looking at a casting house and thinking about that in the traditional sense, but that is the case. So just in time is huge. Everyone knows this. Increasing your cash on hand, decreasing inventory, as you're able to convert more and more of your product delivery to just in time. And Master Casting makes it absolutely easy. No fun to all done, right? It faster and more conveniently than you have ever experienced. You will see, and this is one of my pain points, because I wish I could show you everything. But the software portal, the actual portal that you work on, is intuitive. It is understandable. It provides info that you need and arms you with everything that you need to do all parts of this to submit a new project, whether it's a brand development, exploratory project, whether it's a custom design and manufacturing project for a customer. You can do it from anywhere. We have a mobile app that you can actually do it from your phone, and I put it here and say you can do it from your bed or couch or gym, actually anywhere. I've done it from all three. So it's tremendous. It is a tremendous tool. And speaking of your own lines, you need one. If you don't have one that's branded to your store, then you're missing out, because your brand deserves to be put on a pedestal. You deserve to be building that equity in your brand. And Master Casting specializes in consulting about curating and crafting these lines. We do it really well, and focus on making that a priority, along with the one at a time, whatever you need type stuff. With our advanced rendering capabilities, which, if you want to stick around and talk after, we can show you. We've even got the content for your website that is more beautiful than likely any web renders you've ever seen, to be able to make your website match with your new product line. And as always, Masterflex allows you to come in and use whatever parts of this curation and creation project that you need. I mentioned the technology. It's fantastic. You will love the application, the portal, but also we understand tech and how it should connect and flow through a company at the company process level. And we coordinate with companies to make this work. And I know I'm over time, so don't yell at me. I am very sensitive, and yelling at me can have unintended consequences. I swear I'm almost done. But do you have a web store? If you don't have a web store, I don't want to say I'll fist fight you, but you really need a web store. So you should get one. But assuming you have one, it should be connected to your real-time manufacturing system. And we do that. We connect web stores to website sales so that the order is automatically placed. When the order on the website is placed, the order in our system is placed. It immediately has a project profile on your hub, on your back end, and you can see the process all the way along, step by step. Every step that's that, you'll see, oh, it's been printed, it's been casted, oh, it's in finishing, oh, it's in setting, it's going to ship. And speaking on that, you will be able to depend on the things that you have not been able to depend upon in the past. You can trust that we'll get stuff done, and we'll prove it. You'll see. It's also evident in the fact that we give that step-by-step job status visibility. We prominently and proudly display the delivery date on every project. You can directly chat with us on every product page if there's questions or concerns, and a bunch of other stuff, which you can probably tell. You can probably tell I could talk for 6 hours, which is true. But seriously, put us to the test. I actually triple dog dare you. So you know what that means if you don't do it. So if you want dependability in a way that you haven't experienced it yet, you have found it. And then finally, this is the last slide. We don't shy away from uniqueness. We embrace it. The jewelry industry is changing so rapidly. We understand that. And we understand that each company has very unique needs. So we welcome and embrace special requests and needs that customers have, because we love processes. We love figuring out these types of things. And we have done it so many times, changed the lives of people owning companies from hectic and stressful to calm, profitable, and peaceful. We'll stock. You have stones. You have your supplier who cuts stones in his backyard in somewhere in India that gives them to you for $10 a carat. No problem. We'll stock them and set them in your stuff. We'll use our developers, of which we staff many, to develop custom software solutions to make connections between our system, your system, make life easier. Yeah, we use your customer's gold. We'll stock your packaging and drop ship to your customers. Super duper easy. We'll act as a warranty and repair hub that your customer will never know is us, because your name will be on it the whole time. We'll work to source that absurdly fringe stone that your customer requested that you have never heard of. And yes, we will do whatever it is that you need. We are unparalleled in this industry, and I can say that with full confidence in our ability to and hunger for change, for adapting and making and meeting expectations when it comes to design, casting, manufacturing, brand development, web development. And you will not be sorry when you take a closer look. So sorry for going over time, but also not sorry. So
Well, thank you so much.
You're gonna have to fight me. So
this is not me yelling, but this is me saying thank you. That was fantastic. But I want to make sure that Stephanie has time to
let's go.
her presentation, and that we've got questions afterwards. So next in line, and certainly not least, but last, is Stephanie Paisner. She is Director of Sales for Ratani, and she's going to be talking to us about Virtual Shelf.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for that. I will be sharing my screen. Before I do that, I'll just tell you a little bit about Ritani is a well-known company for their retail business to consumer. However, we do have our wholesale side of the business, which we do work under Virtual Shelf, and I'll dive into that. Here, the Ritani's been in business for 25 years. We're celebrating our .com 10-year anniversary this month, and Virtual Shelf has been around for a few years now. Let me just pull this up for you guys. All right. Second.
It'll show up. It always feels a whole lot longer in the loading phase than it really is.
Thank you. Do you guys see the screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So Virtual Shelf is an online wholesale diamond platform. It does more than that too, though. The main takeaway from it, yes, it's a diamond online exchange platform that gives you access to diamond inventory from thousands of vendors around the world. A customer is walking into your store looking for a 2-carat G, VS1, whatever it may be with these specific ratios. You type them in, you set the parameters on Virtual Shelf, and the diamond will show up. So you don't have to call them back and see if there's a vendor local that has the stone for you or what the price could be. You could just use the website to search for stones that way. The platform also has a retail facing capability, which allows retailers to upload their logo, set markups on loose lab and natural stones, and showcase the inventory directly to their clients as if it was their own inventory. It's all white label. If you want it to be Ritani, it certainly can be Ritani, or you can use it white label with your logo on the site. Aside from having loose, natural, and lab stones, which everything is certified, we also have colored in both categories, natural and lab, engagement ring settings, which are all made here I'm in New York, so here in New York, in our White Plains office. You can order finished engagement rings, which I mean by that is you can order the stone with the engagement ring or just the engagement ring by itself. And I'm sorry, the PowerPoint has a timer, I see. Certified lab and natural diamond set earrings, diamond tennis bracelets, finished fine jewelry, really everything that you would need to stock in your showcases we have. What are the benefits of being part of Virtual Shelf? Well, besides having access to all those diamonds at your fingertips, literally, you could shop anywhere in the world. You also have this market analysis feature, which I think is a really big key benefit. How do you know, with natural diamonds, people use the rap sheet, but how do you know how to price your lab grown diamond that you're selling? How do you know if you want to buy it? The market kind of keeps changing for it. With the market analysis feature, underneath the diamond, there's a button that says diamond info, and I'll show you, I have an example of it here. But it actually scrapes the internet for diamonds with similar characteristics on the web. And now it'll give you a minimum price per carat, a maximum price per carat, an average price per carat. So now you see, okay, well, I'm buying this diamond now. What can I sell it for? This customer has this budget. Can I still make my margins if I sell it to this? Or maybe this diamond isn't the best deal because look at what else I could get it for across the net. We do not set the prices on Virtual Shelf. The vendors are uploading their product for the loose stones. We're just adding a percentage above it. So we're selling to retailers 7% above our diamond cost for lab grown and 3% above our diamond cost for earth grown. So we're really close, very competitive in pricing. The inventories update every 20 minutes. Since a lot of these stones are coming from overseas, and that's part of why the prices are so competitive, there are no customs and duties, shipping that the retailer has to handle. We're taking care of all of that and getting you now that diamond at that great price that otherwise, if for you to buy directly, let's say from India, you might have to pay $1,000 shipping, duties, imports, that whole thing. What we do charge though is $60 flat rate overnight shipping. Like I said, we're in New York, so if that's going to California and you have a $100,000 stone or a $2,000 stone, it's still that $60 flat rate overnight shipping and $120 to Canada. If a stone becomes unavailable, because there are a lot of people, a lot of our retailers who are using the stone, and a lot of the times they do like to set the parameter to what is the lowest cost of the stone. So if that stone does become unavailable, then our team of gemologists will reach out to you and offer you comparable stones. To access the site, you'll have two websites. It's really easy. The vendor portal is where you will adjust your markups if you want to use it retail facing. I have some retailers who just want to use virtual shelf for their the wholesale side for ordering pieces, finished piece of jewelry, custom engagement rings. If a client's looking for this specific diamond, they'll buy it, or just to buy diamonds, to have diamond studs stocked in their showcases, they'll buy it. Other customers do like to shop with their retail client and browse the website where the vendor portal would help you customize all that for you. This is what the vendor portal looks like. So you can see on the bottom, earth markups. It's right now at 7%, lab markups at 7%. So if we're going to use this retail facing, maybe you want your lab markup to be 15%, 20%, whatever will fit your business market, what you're used to. If you don't want to showcase lab grown diamonds and you're only showcasing earth grown, then you could just check off not to have lab grown diamonds show up on your website. If you don't want to have SI1, SI2 diamonds, you can just check off what clarity diamonds that you want. So it offers a lot of customizations for you. Once you're on virtualshelf.io on the website, you can see this is what it'll look like. So here I just typed in 1 carat, anything above G color, anything above a VS2 for clarity. This is what it brought up. So these are lab grown diamonds here. Like I said, we do also have natural. After you select a diamond, it's the screen on the bottom right. That's what the screen's going to look like. And if you see under remove from cart, it says diamond info. That diamond info is the market analysis feature. And this is what that looks like. So this was for a 1 carat G VS2, I believe. So you can see here, minimum price per carat. What this is going for on the web, $505.94. The average $929.54, and our cost $183.75. This took 195 diamonds on the internet that found this diamond. So this is a good buy. If this diamond cost is $183, it's a 1 carat stone, and you can see that the average price per carat is $929.54. Now you have that wiggle room to sell that diamond for between $200 and $900 and still be in that happy place in what this diamond's going for on the market. Max price per carat $8,400. I mean, I think that might be a much older price for lab grown now, but that's what there are some people on the internet still selling them for that high. You can also compare diamonds side by side. So here I picked 2 round lab grown next to 2 earth grown. So you can see what that looks like next to each other. It gives you some more specs on the bottom of the diamonds. And then this is what it looks like when you're at your finished checkout cart. So I went with 2 lab grown diamonds. I put them in a martini setting. So this earring total would be $560.76. If you wanted to engrave your company name onto the earring basket, you would just add that in the notes. If you would like us to drop ship it to your client, add that in the notes. We'll drop ship it to your client. There is different payment options here. It has the credit card option set up here, but there's also bank wires, which would take away the 3% credit card fee for that. And that's virtual shelf for you.
It's very cool. Your market analysis feature and that no customs duties feature, those are both pretty important features. The market analysis one, though, I haven't seen that anywhere else. And with diamond prices changing so fast lately in the lab grown sector, that's very, very valuable.
Yeah, retailers really, really do enjoy it. And that's why some retailers don't even utilize the platform retail facing, because with that market analysis feature, which is password protected, the retailer really has the capability now to maximize their profits because they see what that diamond's going for on the market. So they really do enjoy it. Clients who do use it retail facing do have success from it as well. This is not a memo program because of how competitive the pricing is where we're buying directly from. But they do really have a lot of success with it. So it's a great service. If anyone would like to know more about it, I can walk you through the platform and give you more details on that.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
We had such like an incredibly well-rounded offering in this session. I'm just so appreciative of all of you taking time to put together your presentations. I'm looking at the chat to see if there are any questions. I know some of you were answering questions in the chat as the presentations went on. So Oscar wants to know the price for the electro tumbler machine.
Well, it depends on the machine. So we can talk offline, but the smallest one we have is about 20,000, including all the consumables you need to start working. And you can do about 20 pieces at a time in that machine, and that's for gold. But
and you can name it because it's a full-time employee at a very low cost at that rate.
Right.
more than
That's
one.
the
More than one, yeah.
okay.
It starts at 20 and goes up from there depending on your output, and the metals you're working on. But yeah, we make custom packages for manufacturers. So that's kept secret. And it really is.
So actually, I have a question. If you are using, the machine costs what it costs. If you're using it, full time, I don't know how you would characterize that, but constantly throughout the course of a month, how much are you going to spend on the compounds and?
Sure. Yeah. So it depends on the machine, but we're looking at about 10 cents per piece if you expand it over time. And the only consumable really is the compound and the media. The media can be reused, the compounds, the liquid compounds, like you saw the liquid with the resin, right? That's for the second step. The first step is just the liquid. That could be, it depends on how often you run the machine. So it's about 2,500 ampere hours. That's how you calculate it until it's exhausted. But let's assume maybe a few $100s a year or so, depending on use. I wish the consumables were higher, like resin printers as an example, or wax printers.
You could get your consumable sales. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty low cost of ownership.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That's a very interesting.
Do you have to prep the piece before you put it in? Like, do you have to sandpaper everything before you put it in, or
yeah, good question, Oscar. So the machine you saw in the presentation, you would prep. That's the second step machine. So the idea is selective grinding with, let's say, 600 grit sandpaper on the outside first, casting, selective grinding, removing the skin, and then you put it into the second step machine. If you have big production, we have customers who are doing, let's say, 1,000 rings a day plus. Right. And so they have the first step machine that does the selective grinding for them, and then they put it into the second step machine after. So they skip any manual work. So it just depends on which machine you get. But for the one I told you about, the 20,000, you would do the prep work on the outside, and then you'd stick it into the machine.
Very cool. Well, I don't see any more questions showing up in the chat. And Aaron and Brian joined us today, even though they're hosting the Ethical Gem Suppliers Gem Fair in their facility. So I imagine they want to get back to that. And I know you guys are all really busy. I cannot thank you enough for taking time to put together presentations and share these incredible things that you have to sell that make a jewelry business's business better. And then I just have to say, I think this is also the power of the MJSA community, that when it comes to making jewelry, this is the association that really serves the needs of people who make jewelry, from education to the network. We call each other and we buy things from each other and we refer to each other. And it's just such an important community to be part of when you make jewelry. Our next webinar, our last one for the year, is tools I wish we had. And we're going to have bench jewelers and if any of you guys have tools you either wish you had or that you've adapted to, that you've taken a tool that exists and you've adapted it for a specific purpose and you think somebody should manufacture it or you're manufacturing it, reach out to me because we are interviewing jewelers that have been adapting tools and we're going to show snippets of those on Thursday, November the 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to have a couple of jewelers on the show with me to talk about tools that they have made because we all know jewelers end up making. Yes, Steve Sato is really good at that. I haven't talked to Steve in ages. I'm going to call him. Thanks, Roy. So anyway, that's our next webinar, which is November the 16th. And so I hope you'll join us for that. And I just want to thank all of you so much for your time and sharing your knowledge and these incredible tools and services and education that you have for the community to take advantage of. So yes, yay, all of you.
Great job, everybody.
Great job.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys all later. Thanks again.
Okay.
Everyone.
See you, everyone.
Bye.